We see that banks are also starting to use blockchain. They use blockchain because it's a tamper-proof ledger.
Akash, great having you here. You're from India.
Yeah.
Your project is called Right Origin. Can you pitch it?
Well, in simple ways, Right Origins is a platform that connects farmers in India with brands and consumers here in Europe.
Why is it necessary, this platform? What is the problem you're solving?
Okay, the important problem that we are going to solve is the empowering the first mile, where we are going to have the farmers access markets internationally. The biggest issue that the farmers face is that they are not getting enough pay because their access to the markets is limited to their immediate locality. Now, if we can give them access to international markets, then the profits that they can make out of it is going to be much more, and they can generate much more revenues. And also, if they can create processed products, then the value that they create in the supply chain for the products that they sell is also really high. For example, if you convert a coconut into a coconut oil, and if you get it to Europe, they get 10 euros instead of 1 or 2 euros back in their place. So that is what I am trying to bring in here.
You utilize blockchain as technology to solve this puzzle.
Yeah.
Why blockchain? What are the benefits for this solution?
Okay, for us, access to the international markets is one thing, and second thing is about the legitimacy of the supply chain. If you ask me what is the importance of a blockchain, we see that banks are also starting to use blockchain. They use blockchain because it's a tamper-proof ledger, right? When a person transacts from one person, let's say I pay you some cash, and let's say through the bank, and if this ledger can be tampered with, I can pay the same to multiple people. What blockchain enables is it makes sure that I only pay to you, and it's a transactional data. And if you look at the agri-food supply chain, there is a system called traceability that tracks the flow of products from one stakeholder to the other. Again, that's a ledger. In the current scenario, these ledgers are manipulated heavily, and there is a lot of fraud happening in the sector. And what we can do is, if we bring in blockchain, then these tampering of these ledgers that tracks the flow of produce will not happen. So that is why we use blockchain.
What's your most important challenge today in this project?
What
keeps you awake?
The most important challenge is, like, I don't know if the numbers that I say are the actual numbers, but I feel that 90% of the market is fraud.
Really?
Yeah, it's because, and when you compete in that market, it's very difficult for you to survive. There are brands, huge brands with millions of investments who are competing to get your customers. How do you get to these customers? How do you market yourself when you are trying to be genuine? And when you are trying to be genuine, there are a lot of restrictions. The amount of products that you can build is limited. The quantity that you can supply is limited. So your business will always remain in few millions, while your competitors who might be doing fraud, may or may not, will be operating at a really large scale. So bringing up the brand value is going to be a really difficult task for us. Let's say becoming an Apple in the agri-food supply chain instead of being a Microsoft.
When is the success, final question, for the Indian farmer?
When is the success?
Yeah.
The success is when a farmer is part of a cooperative who owns factories that can convert their products into processed product. When we do that, and when we have multiple farmer cooperatives owning their own factories, having their own food brands, that is where the success happens. And that is where we can bring down the farmer suicide rates in India. That's where we can bring down the poverty level not just in India, but in all these developing countries. So if you specifically ask me for a KPI, I cannot give you a proper KPI, but I can tell you my dream. This is my dream.